Loud. There we go. Okay. As you can see, the title of today's lesson is More Plagues and Stubbornness. We're gonna cover, continue on with the line by line series. This is your Aki Ori, and we're just gonna continue forth as what it is in the book. I noticed that in the template we use again, there was like what?
Oh, they did some jumping and skipping.
Yeah, 3 chapters that hit like they straight up triple jump, like skip 3 chapters from 10 to what 12.
The agenda's real.
Didn't even want to start talking about chapter 13 until verse 17. So that's what we're covering today, but it'll be quick because it's information that we're familiar with. So, but yeah, like we're just continuing on line by line. I mean, like I don't know, like if this don't get people to question, where they going to church every day, I don't know what will, because like you can't say you believe in the book and then constantly skipping chapters, like you know, like it's a cheat day on the workout routine. Um, here we go. Oh, all right. Plagues for some, blessing for others. See, well, y'all see the answers, but that don't matter. Save. There we go. Plagues for some, blessings for others. Let's see. Say, after the plague of hail, did Pharaoh let Yasharel go? Kind of obvious question, but let's get a quick reply from anybody, and then we'll just go ahead and read the answer.
No, he didn't let him go.
Correct. Ema, can you go ahead and read those last, what 8 verses of chapter 9 of Exodus?
Yes, just give me a moment. Just a moment. I'll pull it up. It's Exodus 9:27 through 35.
Correct.
And Pharaoh sent and called Moshe and Aaron and said unto them, I have sinned this time. Yahuwah is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. Entreat El Yahuwah, for it is enough that there be no more mighty thunderings in hell, and I will let you go, and you shall stay no longer. And Moshe said unto him, As soon as I am gone out of the city, I will spread abroad my hands unto El Yahuwah, and the thunder shall cease. Neither shall there be any more hail, that you may know that the earth is Yahuwah's. But as for you and your servants, I know that ye um will not yet fear Yahuwah Elohim. And the flax and the barley was smitten, for the barley was in the ear, and the flax was bold. But the wheat and the rye were not smitten, for they were not yet grown up. And Moshe went out of the city from Pharaoh, and spread abroad his hands unto El Yahuwah. And the thunders and the hail ceased, and the rain was not poured upon the earth. And when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunders were ceased, he sinned yet more, and hardened his heart, he and his servants. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, neither would he let the children of Yasharel go, as Yahuwah had spoken by Moshe.
There we go. So once again, Pharaoh seems to be a continued glutton for punishment, and we're gonna read how basically a hard head makes a soft bottom. So,
Mhm.
uh, what were the next 2 plagues experienced by Mitzrayim? I'll give a hint. One was a insect, and it kind of did a similar thing to the next one.
Is locust and darkness.
Correct, sir. Dawi, would you like to get that for me? The following
Yeah.
verses. It's a lengthy read, but I appreciate
I
it.
got it. I'll be reading out of the KJV. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, that I may show these signs before him, and that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy son and thy sons' sons what things I have wrought in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that ye may know how that I am the Lord. And Moses and Aaron came in unto Pharaoh and said unto him, Thus said the Lord God of the Hebrews, How long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow will I bring the locusts into thy coast, and thou shalt cover the face of the earth, that one cannot be able to see the earth. And they shall eat the residue of that which is escaped, which remaineth unto you from the hill, and shall eat every tree which groweth for you out of the field. And they shall fill thy houses, and the houses of all thy servants, and the houses of all thy Egyptians, which neither thy fathers nor thy fathers' fathers have seen, since in the day that they were upon the earth unto this day. And he turneth himself and went out from Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's servants said unto him, How long shall this man be a snare unto us? Let the man go, that they may serve the Lord their God. Knowest thou not yet that Egypt is destroyed? And Moses and Aaron were brought again unto Pharaoh, and he said unto them, Go serve your Lord, your God. But who are they that shall go? And Moses said, We will go with our young and our old, and our sons, and with our daughters, with our flocks, and with our herds will we go. For we must hold a feast unto the Lord. And he said unto them, Let the Lord be so with you, as I will let you go, and your little ones look to it, for evil is before you. Not so, go now ye that are men, and serve the Lord, for that ye did desire. And they were driven out of the Pharaoh's presence. And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch out thy hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come upon the land of Egypt and eat every herb of the land, even all of the hail that hath left. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt, and the Lord brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And it went into the morning, and when it was the morning, the east wind brought the locusts, and the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt and rested in all the coast of Egypt. Very grievous were they. Before them there were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened, and they did eat every herb of the land, and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left, and there remained not any green thing in the trees, or in the herbs of the field through all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in haste, and he said, I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Now, therefore, forgive, I pray thee, my sin only this once, and entreat the Lord your God that he may take away from me this death only. And he went out from Pharaoh and entreated the Lord, and the Lord turned a mighty strong west wind, which took away the locusts and cast them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the coast of Egypt. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go. And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch out thy hand towards the heaven, that there may be a darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. And Moses stretched forth his hand towards heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days, but all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. And Pharaoh called unto Moses and said, Go ye, serve the Lord. Only let your flocks and your herds be stayed. Let your little ones also go with you. And Moses said, Thou must give us all sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice unto the Lord our God. Our cattle also shall go with us. There shall not be an hoof left behind, for thereof must we take to serve the Lord our God. And we know not that we must serve the Lord until we come thither. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let him go. And Pharaoh said unto him, Get thee from me. Take heed to thyself. See my face no more. For in that day thou seest my face, thou shalt die. And Moses said, Thou hast spoken well, and I will see thy face again no more.
He's like, I concur, sir. Like, I don't want to really be around you either. All right. What will be the last plague to cause Pharaoh to let Yasharel go?
I got a quick question though.
Go right ahead.
Why did he cast them into the red? It seems like he's casting like everything into like the Red Sea almost. Like everything that's like bad is getting washed away in the Red Sea.
Foreshadowing, as they say. I had noticed that too, because I was like, the wind comes from the east, and then it goes out via a west wind back into the sea. Well, I mean, we know that water is a natural solvent, and no matter what it is, water will eventually win, especially salt water. Like it can be your iron ship or, fine linen, or the only thing that doesn't dissolve in seawater is gold and a few other precious metals. But other than that, if it's organic and if it's cast into the sea, it's gone, because the Most High has creatures there dispose of filth, so that makes sense.
You headed to that aspect of it being like a medium.
Yep.
Water being a medium.
I mean, that was demonstrated.
That's what I was thinking too.
That was demonstrated in what is it? Well, it was in the beginning when all like birds and other fish and stuff come from the sea, and serpents, and then also just in that, what was that one movie, Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange?
A lot of movies, bro. That's a lot of Doctor Strange. They was revealing it. Constantine, I think the one with Keanu Reeves.
Constantine. Yeah.
I think like you said already, another Marvel's movie I want to say had it. It's a bunch of them, man, that I've seen that have used water as like a go between one like realm or dimension, if you will, to another. So
yep. Even in Genesis, when Most High is creating this realm, he separates the waters from the waters, right? So
the mind from the mind.
All right, that was it. That's all I wanted to know. My bad.
No, it's good. It's good. We're making good time. It's not a race, but
even with the pigs. Remember when Christ took and cast some pigs in the
yeah, and it's like when you take the locusts, and the locusts are kind of a representation of the Egyptian gods, or one of the Egyptian gods, and he's basically casting these demons in the sea. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's just what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it was even a lake of fire, which is, I'm pretty sure, had maybe
come on, bro,
element of fluidity. It might not be water, but it's fluidity. So I mean, he loved
both. Man, I think with the stuff that we're gonna see, man, in that next realm we step into, mind bending stuff.
Yeah. I was like, it's hot and cold at the same time.
Right.
Like, it's weird. But let's go on to the next passage of Exodus 11, 1 through 10. Because we already know that, what the last plague of Pharaoh will be. I think, did somebody say it or no? Let's go ahead. It's death of the firstborn. Now, this is something I didn't realize as a kid. You know, when you grow up watching the Ten Commandments movie, that they make it seem that it was just death of the firstborn of humans only, but it was the firstborn of anything that was of Mitzrayim. So that was humans, cattle, I'm sure pets and stuff like that. So, and that's like that makes it even more severe because, like, right, you know, we're always taught that, you know, loss of human life is a bad thing, which it is. But it's one thing to not only lose your firstborn son, but your dog to lose its firstborn pup or son or whatever, and then for your cattle to lose its firstborn, and then so on and so forth. So that it just compiles everything. Because one, that's a lot of bodies to bury, and two, that's a lot of wasted potential. But who wants to get 11, 1 through 10?
I'll get it out if it's okay.
Go right ahead, Yusuf. Big rock.
All right. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, Yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Mitzrayim. Afterwards, he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Speak now in the ears of the people. Let every man borrow of his neighbor, every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold. And Yahuwah gave the people favor in sight of Mitzrayim. Moreover, the man Moshe was very great in the land of Mitzrayim, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. And Moshe said, Thus says Yahuwah, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Mitzrayim, and all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim shall die, from the firstborn of the Pharaoh that sits upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Mitzrayim, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it any more. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that Yahuwah puts a difference between the Mitzrayim and Yisrael. And all these your servants shall come down unto me, and bow down themselves unto me, saying, Get you out, and all the people that follow you, and after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in a great anger. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Mitzrayim. And Moshe and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh. And Yahuwah hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go out of his land.
There you go. So, as it were, you know, somebody has an affinity for plagues, and Yahuwah is gonna oblige that request, and but you know, it's all to the working of the glory of Yahuwah, because you know he does like to showboat. So, who are we to say no?
Most I said, I'm gonna put a difference. Oh man, you know people don't want to read that in church. I'll tell you
No,
this.
they don't. That's why
They
they
don't
skipped
want to read that.
3 chapters as I was reading today. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start off with chapter 13. Like we just because I had to check Shafir. I was like, the Shafir skips. I was like, oh no, it's the thing. I was like,
Verse
Shafir
7
didn't
is
skip
of the
nothing.
east.
It's this outline. I was like, how you just gonna jump almost 4 chapters, bro? And then like not even jump to the beginning of chapter 13, but like a quarter of the way through 13. Like,
Yeah, any of that stuff that probably deals with the separation of Israel to the rest of the people, you know, like other nations, or I think also I'm sure that if it goes later on, if we really get all the way down this thing, like the aspects of the law not being done away with, things of that nature, it's probably all going to get skipped. I'm sure. Like, hopefully not, but it's
Yeah.
just a guess. It's a wild guess.
Like, consistency seems to be at least his motto. But also though, as we continue reading this lesson, um, we're gonna find that even though he does separate Israel, there is a way for the Gentile, the stranger, to be grafted in. See, that's crazy, right? They so paranoid about giving the truth, about not giving the truth of the true lineage of Yasharal, that they skip over their own blessing, their own opportunity to get in. That's crazy. But we'll see it as we go on. What is the first feast day of our Yasharel's New Year?
Some people probably like it's a trick question.
Passover. Passover.
Correct. I can see why people would say one or the other, but I'm just going off of what Scripture says. I can see I could be, one way or the other. But let's go ahead and clarify that with the first 11 verses of chapter 12. Now, this is where we're going to be marinating in chapter 12 because that has the most scripture. So, who wants to volunteer?
Yeah.
Let's see. And chapter 12 is like a pretty long, so it's broken up. But I can go ahead and get the first 11 then.
I'll
Just
read
to give
it.
everybody.
I can read it. Oh.
Okay. Well, since y'all can't do rock, paper, scissors, I'm just going to choose.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to just choose Donna then. Danya, not Donna.
Okay. And Yahuwah spoke. Can you hear me? I don't
Yes.
have okay. And Yahuwah spoke unto El Moshe and El Aaron in the land of Mitzrayim, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the assembly of Yasharel, saying, In the 10th day of the month they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole multitude of the assembly of Yasharel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts and on the upper door posts of the houses, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and matzah. Say that?
Matzah.
Okay, I said it right. Matzah. And with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire his head with his legs, and with the potency of thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remains of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. And thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is Yahuwah's Pesach.
There you go. We just celebrated that, 3 months ago now? Something like that. Yeah. March, or roughly. And, and as it stated, it is something that is to be kept, forever. So I can see why they would triple jump over this if they, because it was like, well, dang, we don't see Christmas in here, but we can't show them this either. So, just the wiles of the devil, but it was meant for us, right? What's that verse that says the secrets of the scriptures will be revealed to those of Yahuwah that chose. I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember right now. But there's a scripture that says the secrets of scripture will be revealed to those who he has chosen in a sense. Let's see. And it's crazy. All you had to do was read it. It's not it didn't even require any serious like codex reading or nothing like that. All you got to do is read. The beginning of destruction and the renewing of instruction. So,
Or may I
what we
ask you something?
go right ahead.
With that scripture, I'm going to try to search it out. But are you talking about the one that it is the glory of kings to search it out? Is it that
Yes.
one that
That's
you're
what I
talking?
thought.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, Proverbs
Okay.
25. Yeah. Is it? I'm sorry. I don't know. Is it?
I'm gonna
Or
go to it right now.
That's what I was thinking too. Amaziah, because that's the only one that I can think of.
yeah.
It is the something of the Most High to conceal a thing, but it is the glory. I'm just
Oh,
quoting
yep.
what I can remember.
I'm already at it. I'm go ahead and read it.
Okay.
This is Mishle, Proverbs 25, verse 2. It is the glory of Elohim to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search a matter out, or search out a matter. So I'm gonna
Oh,
read it
I
one more
have that
time.
all wrong. Sorry.
It is the glory of Elohim to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. So that means that when, or if you're gonna be a ruler, as Yasharel is going to be placed back at the head, that we should take the information, especially that was meant for us, and search it out and confirm, or take the wise counsel of elders around us and search that out and confirm. So, I mean, that's what a wise ruler does to keep his kingdom going. So,
Mashiach told us to seek and you will find.
yep.
Interesting.
All right. Oh, yep. Let's go to the first question of the second slide. How long should the feast of Pesach, Passover be kept? I think we already know. The answer is for eternity, but let's go ahead and confirm it with the next two verses. Who wants to get that? I think Ima Vicky wanted to read. We'll let her get that.
Okay, I'll read it. Exodus 12 and 12 through 14. And I'm reading from the scriptures.
Hallelujah.
And I shall pass through the land of Mitzrayim on that night, and shall strike all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both man and beast, and on all the mighty ones of Mitzrayim. I shall execute judgment. I am Yahuwah. And the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I shall pass over you, and let the plague not come on you to destroy you when I strike the land of Mitzrayim. And this day shall become to you a remembrance, and you shall celebrate it as a festival to Yahuwah throughout your generations. Celebrate it as a festival, an everlasting law.
There you go. I'm just gonna read 14 just in the sefer just to help confirm. So and this day shall be unto you for a memorial, which is remembrance, and ye shall keep it a feast to Yahuwah throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. There you go. So also it details that it's going to be a memorial, meaning that in this future time with us descendants of Yasharal, that the sacrifice of the physical, slaying of the lamb is no longer necessary. But we are to remember this time, this moment in the past of how Yahuwah brought our descendants out. And in this modern day, it seems to be bringing us out even now. And so, that it makes it easier for those of us who want to keep it and we're unsure about the whole slaying of the lamb. Well, we know just because Mashiach himself was the ultimate sacrifice. Yahusha HaMashiach was the ultimate sacrifice. That's why it is no longer necessary to shed the blood of a lamb. It's just, prepare it as such and enjoy it on that feast day. So, does anybody else have anything you want to add before we get to the next question? If not, that's fine. What is the next?
I really like, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to say, I really liked the part where he mentioned a mark. And when I looked it up in the Hebrew word, it means a distinguishing mark, which means even more, because he's already mentioned how he's separated his people from Mitzrayim and the people of them. And I just liked how he mentioned how he marked us. And so they put the blood of the lamb over their doorposts to mark them. And in the same way, we are marked and covered by Yahushua's blood. And I just found it, I don't know, it touched my heart. I just wanted to share that.
Oh, you're totally right. You're totally right, Cody, because it's again a foreshadowing. Scripture is multi-layered. There's even stuff that we read in the Old Testament that's applying today, and vice versa. Stuff that we read in the New Testament that applied back then. It all overlaps and crisscrosses and confirms itself. So, I mean, there's no other book in human history that does that. No matter how much the other nations try to talk up their books, there's a reason they keep coming back to ours, even for reference, even if they don't believe.
True, it never contradicts itself. You're right. It doesn't. I mean, you go all the way from Genesis to Revelations. It never contradicts. It's always just a support or a supporting scripture of what the other one may say.
Yeah. And if somebody ain't got anything else to say, let's go ahead and move on to the next question. What is the next feast day to be kept, and is it to be a yearly feast as well?
It's the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and yes, it is.
Correct, Ema. Do you want to go ahead and read the next two?
Okay.
3, I guess.
Exodus chapter 12, 15 through 17. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Indeed, on the first day you cause leaven to cease from your house. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that being shall be cut off from Israel. And on the first day is a set apart gathering, and on the 7th day you shall have a set apart gathering. The work and all is to be done on them. Only that which is eaten by every being, that alone is prepared by you. And you shall guard the festival of matzah. For on this same day I brought your divisions out of the land of Mitzrayim, and you shall guard this day throughout your generations, an everlasting law.
There you go. Again, this is why they triple jumped over this part of the book, because it's like you keep seeing this word forever. Like, how you gonna dispute that? And, because the Most High is not going to contradict himself. You know, in the New Testament, he's not going to say forever, but then I changed my mind. Like,
Right.
And can I say something?
go right ahead. Ibriym.
I've often, thought about what you're just saying. And where are the instructions? It's like the Most High gave instructions over here in this side of the book. Where are the instructions in the book that the Most High gave to, now that everybody's, anybody can be Israel, or Israel is done away with and now it's the church? Where are those church instructions written down in the book?
Well, even that there's neither Greek, nor Scythian, Parthian, right?
Where are the instructions for what that you do? That's what I asked. I asked the preacher friend of mine. I said, well, where do those instructions come from? Where are they found in the book? Easter, Christmas. Where are those instructions from the Most High? He gave instructions for everything else that his people are supposed to do.
Right.
But now there's not one piece of instruction now that it's the church. Where are those instructions if he made a covenant with the church? Because he made a covenant with Israel, he gave very distinct instructions.
I'd even venture to say, find like you just now said, find me somewhere in the scriptures where it says that the new covenant is just for everybody.
Yeah. Because
Please,
the Most
in the New
High,
Testament, take your time. Look
he
it up.
made
Let me know.
that's how he made a covenant with Israel.
Or a covenant.
Where is the covenant he made with the church?
Can't be found.
And then they go all out. I said that to him. He just about went berserk. I just left the man alone. But
That's a good thing to say, Ima, because if you talk to the average Christian or even Jehovah's Witnesses, they will tell you the Most High, they'll say God is a man of order. He is, he's structured. And so he's a man of order, so an Elohim of order. So if that is the case, then wouldn't he, as you say, leave instructions on how they are to conduct themselves? You're right.
That's a good point.
has
Good
the
night.
church. Then why you got about 33,000 different denominations each doing something different? I believe it's something different that don't sound like a covenant with the church, as they call it. So, cognitive dissonance and delusional people don't think right. Even if you put all that there and show correlations, they still don't. They can't think it. They can't go there with their
All
mind.
them denominations, and they all will agree. Well, I would think almost all would agree that the law is done away with.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. When it's in the book, it's not even hidden. Like, they didn't even take that. Like, they've taken a lot of stuff out, but that's still there. Like,
The two
Mashiach
things that
himself.
we stand on. The
And-
two
and-
things we
and-
stand on. You know what I'm
and
saying?
then, like,
Us being Israelites, and then the law done away with. Their skin will crawl over that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
they'll say, well, I used to hear this all the time in church. God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Well,
Yeah.
what you just told me, it's like, I don't know. I guess it's just not for them to see. I don't know. But it just kind of gets,
If the Most High doesn't allow you to see it, you won't see it. That's basically how I go. Because, like, it's plain as day. It's like 1 + 1 is 2. But if the Most High doesn't allow you to see it, and like I said, I've said this in the past. I think the reason the Most High doesn't reveal such simple matters. These are simple matters, right? We're not trying to get into the weeds of how to specifically keep a feast day or nothing. Just as like, hey, at least acknowledge these feast days and keep them, and don't do
Facts.
and
Facts,
but the
bro.
Most High is like, no, you're not gonna get it. That's levels of spiritual retardation that's never been seen before. Because
Well,
it's
just
like,
indoctrination, man. I'm sorry to say sorry, but yeah, just indoctrination, man. Like that's just that'll let you know how fast like somebody can get. And it's a miracle, y'all, that we think the way that we think. And I really hope that, we talk and we do all of this, that, and the third, but honestly and truthfully, it's like being in the what they call it, and Get Out, the
yes,
uh yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
And it's almost like they can't even like they may actually try to understand you, you know what I mean? Try to do what they can, but you
yeah,
know. So you really got to look at it like honestly, like it's a miracle that we
yeah,
were able to get above that water and see some light. You know what I'm saying? But there was a cause for it too, and I know that also a lot of people ain't willing to give up. You know, a lot of people ain't willing to be called a cult or whatever it is, even though they could be diametrically wrong. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But still, that's
It
your
it
belief, and then you get
it is.
questioned for everything.
Yeah, and like I think what it is, like you said, a lot of people they don't want to be questioned because that means they got to do research and defend it. A lot of people just want to be like, okay, this is what I am. Okay,
Well, also they have to relinquish things that they've enjoyed in the belief that they've been following. All of this inherent religion, they believe that it's true. And when I even try to speak to my sister-in-law, who reminds me that she's been to Bible college and have studied
I
for
love it when
many
I get
years,
close
I tell
in the
her,
Bible.
I'm like, well, then I need you to help me understand. And I'll give her verses. I'm like, I need you to help me understand this then. Because if the Bible says, even in Revelations, to adhere to the Ten Commandments, why are we still not following it? Tell me then, explain to me what sin is. If you are telling me that we don't have to adhere to these Ten Commandments, then explain to me exactly what is sin. If we're not following this, then help me understand what that is. Why are you not understanding that this is something that we do live by even in our society? We don't we get in jail if we murder, or and we have to divorce, and we're looked down upon if we have an adult have an affair and all of these things. But I try and remind her, I'm like, the Pharisees, they were, they studied when they were young, and they still were wrong, and they still couldn't see even though he was in front of them. And she just struggles to understand this perspective because she's so brainwashed, I guess is the best way to put it, by this inherent religion.
indoctrinated.
Yeah, she said it's your sister or is it sister-in-law?
No, it's my sister-in-law. My sister has started to open her eyes a little bit more to it. She's not as closed off as my sister-in-law is, but my brother follows my sister-in-law. And so it's hard to help my brother understand. But she's kind of sort of opening her eyes to what's going on around us. And like, you can't really trust the government and all these other different things. But when it comes to my sister, she's like, when I give her script about we shouldn't celebrate Christmas, look, it's in the Bible, it talks about this. And so she goes, well, Christmas wasn't then. And I was like, okay, well then I'm going to give you this explanation, and I want you to tell me exactly what does it describe. And she's like, well, it sounds like Christmas. Exactly. We might call it Christmas now, but it may not have had that name. It did have the celebration though.
They call it Beltane back in the day and stuff like that and
Oh,
other
okay,
stuff.
okay. But so she's starting to understand more. It's my sister-in-law, Gio, that struggles with, because she's been to Bible college. She went when she was young, and then she, got another bachelor's or something in biblical studies. And she just firmly believes that what she learned through those teachers and professors is truth, in fact. And I'm like, not really.
I think a lot of people, what you said, they enjoy what they're doing. And I know my former pastor, you know, it's almost as if when I told him that, I went and told him, I said, you know what, I told him, I said, I can't do this anymore. And I said, I'm leaving the church, and and the thing is, he was very what's the term? Unsettled, I guess. Not in a loud way, but I could see it in his body language and his expression. And I basically told him, I said, well, if the law is if the law is done away with, and we're not, and he said, why you want to put yourself under the curse? And I told him, I said, how can not sleeping with somebody else's spouse and stealing be a curse? Not stealing, not killing, not bowing down to idols. How is that a curse?
Yeah.
And
Why does Christ say, think not? Why? I'm
Yeah.
with you. Go ahead. You cooking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not, that's okay. That's okay. But it's like, and it kind of, I could see it kind of shook him up a little bit. And, but I just think a lot of people they just love being Christians, and they love being in that Christian environment. And especially people who have been to seminary school, got all these accolades behind their name. Because they get some
You're
kind
right.
of,
You can't take that away. The Christian environment, you can't.
yeah.
I just saw my little cousin, my little first cousin. He's singing, and I mean I just
He
never
can
knew
really
he could, I mean, really sing. Like I didn't, growing up or whatever, but I mean, I was like, oh wow, you can, you can really blow. Like Jared is his name is Jared. And and I'm hearing it, right. I'm only listening to his set. It's, some set at this whatever they got going on. I guess a convention, jamboree, whatever it could be. And and I'm listening to him, right? He's giving praise and to the Lord, right? It sounds great. You know how we are, y'all. We definitely have a beautiful sound, man. I mean, if it's
I think
anything, man, the Most High blessed us with a
I
beautiful sound. Like
yeah.
it's,
I mean, they'll have you up and hopping around.
I'm telling you, and that's what and I guess it's because I haven't necessarily watched one of those in a minute or whatever. It's just the other day, just like it was like on a Thursday. And yeah, you're right. Like I can see how the atmosphere, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's
I get it. It's just
agitated.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even though they don't understand it, like, well, we have that over here too. It's just that, we just got some, we also gonna get into these scriptures. That's the
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's not just the good, like it's not just the endorphin good feeling,
Right.
because like
And
yes, like make a
It's a
joyful noise.
lifestyle change. It's a
Yeah.
lifestyle change because you have to change your eating habits. You have to
Yep.
change what goes into your body, what you see, what you hear.
See
Everything
that I
changes,
was gonna hit
and they
on
don't
that.
like
See,
that.
I was
I'm
gonna hit on
sorry,
that
brother. I'm
part.
so sorry. I'm so
No, no,
sorry.
you no, no, you no, you I'm right here. Like when he was talking about the stuff that you don't want to miss, I wanted to say crawfish ball.
Yeah, yeah.
And pork, and pork. Oh, do they love some pork? My
I'm done. I
sister-in-law
just
tried to
yeah.
tell me about
fish
pork, and I was
boy.
like, she goes, if you're telling me that the Bible says you can't eat it, then we're gonna have a problem. I was like, well, that's what I'm saying. What are we gonna have a problem now?
But see, that's what Christianity is. People don't realize that's why Christianity is the largest religion. Because for one thing, Christianity allows you to indulge your flesh,
And still feel holy. Yeah.
still feel good about yourself. You can, it's not about, most churches, I'm not going to say all of them, but the majority of them, they don't ask you how your life is going. They said, how come you haven't been to church lately? What that got to do with anything?
That's really good.
Yeah.
God, that's really good. You ain't lying.
They don't care.
That's the question.
You've been out there doing everything and anything that you're big enough and bad to do.
Yeah.
And you show up in church, oh, we're so glad to have so-and-so back
So
in
that's
the
all
church.
it takes. Just to show up. I've often asked the question, even with us. I'm like, y'all think just showing up to just showing up on the Shabbat, just like that. There's something deeper. What you're hitting on, I think. Obviously, keeping the commandments is definitely a level deep than just showing
Oh, yeah.
up. But I'm talking about like that there's something else that happens, and I believe yes, I'm right there with you. I believe that taking that for whatever it is to go in and actually do the commandments, it already shows a certain level of commitment that just showing up to church, y'all. It's really not that hard. You know what I'm
No.
saying?
Yeah.
No, walking it out is a whole nother story. When you
It's
have to
not
walk
hard.
out the commandments and follow them and actually teach your kids to do that and not, oh, we're not going to be buying Christmas presents and we're not going to be singing
the
these
hard
Christmas
part.
songs to a tree.
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous.
Because your children have come to love it. Grandma, grandpa, and all them have come to love Christmas. And it just feels good. Christmas feels good. Thanksgiving feels good.
Depending on who you ask.
But there's so many feast days within the truth
But
that we
those
celebrate.
things,
More feast days in the truth. There's no
those
more.
things feel
Come on.
good.
You know what? Can I say something? Ima, you're completely right. It is a spirit because if you notice, well, I don't feel it anymore, but every year it's like Christmas and Thanksgiving, that's when people became nice. And I was like, what a bunch of hypocrites. They still are that way. They still are that way, but it's like all of a sudden Merry Xmas and it's giving and people are so kind. Why aren't you this way all the time? It's a spirit that envelopes the world, well, the United States anyhow. So you're right. It's a feel good thing that is their tradition that it's very important to them. Very important to them. But there is a difference.
Yeah. Why you eating abominations, Christmas hams, and whatever else if you want to do a Thanksgiving crawfish or whatever. Like I was like, bro, it's like the Most
Like
Then
you
High
the,
is not.
say, it feels good. That's
but
the whole.
family needs to get together on Christmas. The family gets together on Thanksgiving. On Christmas, I'm gonna use Christmas. Well, I thought Christmas was y'all celebrating Jesus' birthday. Why everybody got to get together? Because that's when everybody gets together. But you said it's Jesus' birthday.
Yeah, it's been
Why
corporate
everybody else
and
getting presents?
corporations and the government has
Yeah.
subsidized it at this
Why is
point.
everyone else getting presents? Nobody ever asked me, why is everyone else getting presents?
Yeah, like the same corporations that be like Happy Pride Month will be like, baby Jesus. Like what?
See,
Like what?
nobody ever talks about it. That's why the church has always portrayed the Messiah, aside from being a white man with blonde hair. They've always portrayed him as a little baby and as someone crucified on the cross.
That's
You
right.
never
Sweet
hear
baby
them
Jesus.
talk about the Messiah as the one who's going to bring the heat.
Yeah, bring the destruction. Yeah.
Never talk about that.
Right. There's a few churches that's willing to, the independent churches willing to do it, but for the most part, yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. I agree. But then, the ones that's willing to talk about it, they still believe in the mother doctrines. Like they all agree with the other stuff.
Basically, they agree the same thing.
Yeah. They can talk about us all day on some stuff, but I'm like, y'all too. Like, bro, I know we railroaded this whole thing. Sorry about that. But hopefully
No,
that
no,
was,
no.
you know what I
I've
mean?
been letting y'all talk. It's good. Look, we already read.
Y'all gotta excuse me, with the exception of my nephew who's here. And he works a lot, so I don't get to talk to him very much. I don't get to talk very, people like-minded people very much. So I'm like, if I talk a lot, excuse me.
Nah, that's what this day is for, a day of rest and spiritual renewal. So go right ahead, Eva. We always love to hear your wisdom. So
Oh, praise.
see what is what is actions what are the actions required in the Feast of Matzah to properly keep it? Let me. What are the actions required in the Feast of Matzah to properly keep it? There we go.
Well, first day you get to get the leaven out of your house, and you eat unleavened bread, 7 days. And then the last day is a gathering. Is that right?
That is correct. Who wants to get the next two, or I guess 3 verses if you count 18? Do we have any Yaladim in the chat? No. Yeah. They off conquering the world. Like,
Oh my brother, I'm reading out the KJV. What is it? Not 15 to 17, is it?
There you go.
Okay, 18 to 20. Yes, sir. In the first month of the 14th. Wait. Am I right there? Am I there? Yeah. But in the first month of the 14th day of the month at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at even. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Yasharel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. Ye shall eat nothing leavened, and all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread.
There you go. Simple but effective, and it even shows that if a stranger is going to sojourn with us, that just do as we do. It's not hard. So I mean, like they make it seem like yes, we're gonna be placed at the head of all nations, but that doesn't mean you can't join us. You just got to cleave. But cleaving takes humility, and most of the other nations don't want to do that. Oh, I'd say every other nation doesn't want to do that, except for the few that the Most High has chosen to cleave. Put it like that, because they Psalms 83. They conspire against us. But
Yep.
what time did Yahuwah release his angel of death? What time did Yahuwah release his angel of death? Nobody has a clue. Let's go ahead and read it.
Oh, I was saying something, but I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead. If you think you got the answer before we read it. Correct.
Wasn't it?
Yes, that is correct. It was midnight. Okay.
I don't know if it was midnight, but I know it was at night. Because it
Oh, yeah.
came.
Now you're did you say midnight or just night?
I said I don't know for sure if it was midnight. Does it say midnight?
Yes, ma'am. It is midnight.
Midnight? Okay.
All right. I'll go ahead and get these next 9. Let's see. Then Moshe. Go ahead.
I just want to ask a quick question. Isn't that one of the night watches?
I have not looked into that, but possibly so.
There's a first night watch, first, second, and third night watch, right? Somebody, if
So.
y'all know.
Yeah, that's where I was wondering. I was wondering if it was the third or around the third, but I don't know. I haven't. I looked into the night watch and stuff a while back, but I forgot the shifts.
Well, I guess we'll get to it when we get to it. Because like what
Yeah.
book is that in? Like the Night Watch? Is that further like in the Torah or
Yeah. We'll have to
okay.
just look
Yeah,
at
we'll wait till we get to it and then we'll just deliberate because like that was my first time really hearing about the Night Watch. Let's see.
Brother, I can read if you'd like.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Oh. Okay, you said 21, correct?
21 through 30. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then Moshe called for all the elders of Yasharel and said unto them, draw out and take you a lamb according to your families and kill the Pesach. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin and strike the lintel and the two side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning. For Yahuwah will pass through to smite the Mitzrayim, and when he sees the blood upon the lintel and on the two side posts, Yahuwah will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. And you shall guard this thing for an ordinance to you and to your sons forever. And it shall come to pass when ye are come to the land which Yahuwah will give you, according as he has promised, that ye shall guard this service. And it shall come to pass when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of Yahuwah's Pesach, when passed over the houses of the children of Yasharel in Mitzrayim, when he smote the Mitzrayim and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshipped. And the children of Yasharel went away and did as Yahuwah had commanded Moshe and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass that at midnight Yahuwah smote all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Mitzrayim, and there was a great cry in Mitzrayim, for there was not a house where there was not one dead.
There you go. So when the Most High says get them, they get got. It's interesting to see how, up until this point, like those of Ham's descendants, Cush, like they had all this happening to them and saw it not happening to us, and they never thought, like, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna go check these guys out on this Pesach thing I heard they were doing. Maybe try to learn something real quick, because I don't want my firstborn son to die, or the firstborn of my cattle, or the firstborn of my pet cat. But and I guess it was either information that as this was all going on was kind of like, man, like we got another weird day today, man. Like what's up with all these locusts and frogs and they just kind of like just was going with the flow and not really realizing like what was going on. They just thought it was extreme weather, maybe. I don't know. But it's kind of interesting that there weren't like any defectors from like the normal citizenry, at least before it got this bad.
There was another, I don't remember the verse. It's either 9, 10, or 11, where his servants, Pharaoh's servants said, just let them go, and it was after one of the plagues. I can't remember right now off the top of my head, but it was after one of the plagues where he said just the servants were telling even Pharaoh to let them go, but his pride in his heart refused it. But
Yeah.
they felt, they felt at that moment the brunt of Yahuwah and his hand. But he still didn't, hearken, and he still, held the people. So, I mean, they knew that they were dealing with something more powerful than them, but they themselves, didn't leave Pharaoh. And so it's just, But you were right in saying that, like they a lot of them in the land, I'm sure, had just pride and refused to leave what they grew up knowing. Just kind of like what we were talking about before with the religion and
Yeah, I guess that make because like this is Yahuwah delivering haymakers, and just because you knock somebody out doesn't mean when they wake up they'll get it. So I guess that makes sense. That does make sense. Like, because up until this point, worshiping Thoth and whoever else and all those other guys that they got was just how he did business. And then all of a sudden, within what, the span of a year, this is all happening or something like that. That's what it seems like. Within the span of a year, you're getting wake up calls like your way of life is not only wrong, but incredibly wrong. And that can still be, jarring because, right, you still look around, hey, we still the mighty kingdom of Mizraim. Ain't nobody invading us, ain't nobody taking us over. We're like basically the trade hub of the Levant region. Ain't nobody gonna come take us down, not even the Esau at this point in time in history. And it still didn't click. Let's see.
Brother, well, how do you serve? I thought y'all were against abortion, and so you telling me that your God kills babies? I know that's heavy right now.
Yeah,
These are the atheists I got to deal with. But
yeah.
anyway, we can continue on. I'm just letting y'all know.
Well,
If y'all
no,
want to know
like,
how to respond to that, I'm with you.
it was chapter 10:7 where he said, "Let the men go, that they may serve Yahuwah, Elohim. Know you not yet that Mitzrayim is destroyed." So they admitted that their land was destroyed, and this was in 7. I mean, chapter 10. But he didn't want to let him go
yeah.
because of the because I remember thinking, why did Yahuwah harden his heart? Was that not his will? But then I read, I think it's Psalms or Proverbs, where it talks about the heart of a man, the plans of the heart of the man is his own, but what comes out of his mouth is the Lord's. And so I was like, well, he just, he kind of just gave him
What
what was already in his heart, correct? Because I had really always wondered about that when it says, "And Yahuwah hardened his heart," and I thought, why did just to show his power? But then I read that and I was like, okay, that belongs to us. That is our quote unquote freedom, if you want to say it like that. But when we give our hearts to Yahuwah, that's why I think the Bible also talks about don't trust our hearts, right? Just our minds and what. So I remembered that part and I thought, oh, okay, he was complete. He didn't want to let them go because of all the pride that was in his heart. But even though the people around him were saying, let them go, they had already knew that they were destroyed.
That what was that in Psalms? I want to read that real quick. Psalms.
Oh, I was pointing out Exodus 10:7, where his servants had said, "Let the men go, and they may serve Yahuwah Elohim."
Well, no, like I agree with that, but he said there was something in Psalms that you read that where it says,
Yes, his
Most High,
heart.
Most High allows you to he makes you say what's already in your heart, like it's not him necessarily turning.
Yes, let me find it because I know I've read it before. Let me see.
Because like this is a good answer for free will. Because people are like, well, if God's gonna make me do this, I was like, well, no, he's making you do what's already in your heart. He's not, as in actuality, as we'll read forth going on in the book that
Mm-hmm.
when we're set back at the head of all nations, and Zechariah was at 14, 13 through 15 or 14 happens, that the other nations will be worshiping Yahuwah as we do with us. So, but that will be those who in their hearts I had already made the decision that like, okay, yeah,
It's Proverbs 16.
Proverbs
I
6.
have verse 1 here, and it says, "The plans of the heart belong to a person, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord."
There you go. So I'm gonna highlight that. So I get that if I ever get that free will question, because I've never really gotten a question like that, but that's a good way to. Like, hey, it's like look, it's like whatever utters out of your mouth is already what's in your heart. So saying that the Most High didn't give you a choice, you already made yours, and it was the incorrect one. But that was very insightful. Thank you, Danya.
What was that verse again? 16 and what?
Proverbs 16, verse 1.
Yes.
Oh, verse 1.
All right. Free at last, and at least for now. Let's see. How many of Yasharel were they that fled Mitzrayim? It's a nice big number. I'll go ahead and let's go ahead and read it out since nobody really has the number off the top of their head, which I didn't before I read this, so it's fine. Let me just get to it. 12 and what is it? 31 through 39. And he called for Moshe and Aaron by night and said, "Rise up and get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Yasharel, and go, serve Yahuwah as ye have said. Also take your flocks and your herds as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also." And the Mitzrayim were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, "We be all dead men." And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs, being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Yasharel did according to the word of Moshe, and they borrowed of Mitzrayim jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And Yahuwah gave the people favor in the sight of Mitzrayim, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Mitzrayim. So when we left, we left with a bag. The Most High didn't, leave us destitute. And the children of Yasharel journeyed from Ramses to Sukkot, about 600,000 on foot that were men beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very many cattle. And they baked matzah, cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Mitzrayim, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Mitzrayim and could not tarry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victual. Now I'm gonna look up victory right quick because I forgot what that meant. I looked it up once, but I forgot. Does
While
anybody
you're
know?
looking that up, can I point something out in that scripture you just read?
Go right ahead.
You know how it says that they borrowed from everybody, and they took everything and left them, with nothing. I think of today's time where we're all well, not all of us, but have everybody is demanding reparations. It's not something that we actually, for me, I don't think that's something we actually have to try to go to the government for reparations.
Well,
I
yeah.
think when it's time, Yah is going to say, hey, he is going to provide our reparations. We're not going to have to worry about that. So we're not going to need them to make any legislation on giving us reparations, because they didn't make any legislations back then either. They just went in and they spoiled them, as Yah said. So when you read that right now, it just hit me like harder than like a revelation, harder. Maybe y'all have had it before, but it hit me harder this time that what are we doing? We don't have to ask these people for anything at this point, because when it's time, Yah's going to provide it, and they will give it to us, period.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like you don't want none what they got no way. It's spoiled and rotten. It's stuff that's not gonna last. I mean, it doesn't even do them any good. So
When I looked up the word borrow in the Hebrew, it meant to ask. So they did go and they asked for these things, but it is also prophesied prior to this event happening in Genesis 15:13 to 14. Let me see. It says, and he said unto Abraham, know of a certainty that your seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, shall serve them, and they shall afflict them for 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. So he tells us here
Absolutely.
that they're gonna come out with riches. And so they're not gonna be in poverty coming out. They're going to have things. So they
That's
asked
right.
and they gave. I thought that was really cool.
And if we ask,
I
it's
have this.
because the Most High instructs us to. It's not because we went to the government and begged them, please give us our reparations. It's because the Most High, hey, go just like he did with our ancestors. Not saying
Absolutely.
he's going to do that the same way, but however he brings it about, when he tells us to demand our reparations, it's going to be something that's not going to be negotiable. They're going to willingly give it to us.
Yeah,
That's true
that's
because
where I
in
stand on the
Exodus,
reparations talk. I
yeah,
stand on that too. Like in other words, I'm probably not gonna fight for this. Obviously, so I don't see the point in it.
yeah.
But if that check is there, it's not like I ain't gonna turn it down. I'm gonna tell you that right now. As long as I stay in this land,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
me
stay
too.
here. You feel me? Like
I'm leaving.
I'm gonna take it and be like, all right, it's time for me to bounce later.
Yeah.
well,
it's like I'm not gonna try to fight you for it because I'm gonna let Yahuwah do that. But yeah,
Yahuwah did tell them to in Exodus 11, I think it's verse 2. He tells them to tell the people to borrow or ask of their neighbors, for the men to do it and for the women to do it. And he told them specifically what to ask for, and they gave it to them. So they did leave with a lot.
And see, you have to remember too, in Egypt they didn't have fiat money. People wore gold and silver.
And that's
And
something that the government stole a lot of from a
yeah,
lot of other
Yeah,
nations. Anybody can Google this.
you're
I'm
right
talking
in that.
about a lot of gold. This is what whether it was Gaddafi. I mean, you can go down the line. There's a lot of places. Saddam and them, they go. They took this place. Just goes and takes gold from everybody.
yeah.
yeah, they took the. I didn't know that back in the early 20th century, in the early 1900s, they took gold from people. People could not own gold. The government, I can't remember what that was something that you couldn't own. You know, people used to have, you see those movies of people back in the day, in like in the out in the West and everything, when people were going west and the West was being established, people have gold in their safes. Well, you couldn't do that. You can only have. Yeah, they took. I can't. I'm not gonna say, but they took gold from people.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm with you, Ema, because I'm trying to think of the act that they passed
I can't
where
remember.
you had to give your gold up for
Yeah, you had to get
greenback.
I'm about to let these folks take my gold. I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
because people back in the day out west, they would rob trains and stuff for gold. And now they don't. People don't have gold in their house anymore.
But the government will take it off your hand.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Isn't it? Mhm.
Yes, that was an executive order. 6102 and the Gold Reserve Act of 1934, according to the AI overview.
Yeah, you're right. That's what it is, 1934, where they had people trade in their gold for greenbacks that slowly started to, or rapidly started to devalue every year.
Yeah.
I mean, it really crashed after what, the 70s when when Reagan took the country off the gold standard. No, not Reagan, it was Nixon. But like, yeah, ever since that point, it was, downhill for Babylon. But we just it was unfortunate we had to endure with Babylon too, because
Yeah,
we already
it's a
didn't
game
have
that
enough.
they playing. Right.
Yeah,
It's a game that they playing. It's a global exchange currency. I'm pretty sure y'all looking at this. Like it's as long as it continues to maintain that, then your quote unquote fiat money will have some level of value. But
yeah,
and the thing is that this place will fight every other nation.
yeah.
It'll take out it. It's the military might of the U.S. that'll keep
The
the money
dollar
where
going.
it is. Exactly. If anybody else tries to even try to make it the global exchange currency, that's gonna be off with your head.
Yep.
I'm glad my face is not on YouTube. Oh my gosh.
It is what it is, and it's like it's so bad now that even Esau's descendants are realizing this. They're like, wait, I'm getting PTSD. My uncle, he's drinking himself to sleep every night because of what he had experienced in the first or second Gulf War or Afghanistan. They're like, why would I want to fight for that? And so, and now that they see it, they're like, what have we done? Now they still some a heavy cognitive dissonance, like, oh, we could all just get along. Like, Most High has, been measuring and weighing your sins, and it reaches to heaven. And eventually, He's gonna come to collect, and that's starting now. So, but you know, it's all in Yahuwah's time. We just got to be patient. Let's see. How long was Yasharel's captivity in Mitzrayim the first time? Does anybody have an idea? It's fairly similar to the second time.
Captivity.
How many years?
The captivity wasn't that long. I mean, they weren't captives at first. They were just,
Yeah, I guess.
But they, because they weren't in captivity that whole time, if you're going to use the 430 years, they weren't in captivity that whole time. Only part of that 430 years that they were in captivity.
Oh, okay. So it's probably
the total years they were in Mitzrayim were 430.
430. So I need to rephrase that question better. Yeah, see. What? There you go. I was like, what's going on?
Remember when Jacob came into Mitzrayim, they were not captives. Joseph was second in command of all Egypt.
You're correct. Let's go ahead and read let's go ahead and verify what Ema said. Do you want to go ahead and get it, Ema? The next three verses.
Verse 40, chapter 12, verse 40. Give me a second. Let me get my second pair of eyes on. Okay. Verse 40. And the sojourn of the children of Israel who lived in Mitzrayim was 430 years. And it came to be at the end of the 430 years, on that same day, it came to be that all the divisions of Yahuwah went out from the land of Mitzrayim.
There you go. So 430 is what we resided. I'd have to go back and look. There's a link I have that actually gives the actual numbered years that we were enslaved, because in Mitzrayim, but like you said, we were at least there 430, but of the 430, I forget how many.
I think it was like, if I remember, it may be the same video that I have. I think it's like 70 years where they were in.
10 years worth of slavery. Okay.
I don't quote me on that. I'm just saying something like that.
If you go to Genesis 15 and what was it, 15 and 13, he said to Abram, "Know that your seed will live as foreigners in a land that is not theirs, and will serve them. They will afflict them for 400 years." That's what it says in Genesis 15 and 13.
Hey, what's up, Uzi? I almost didn't recognize you.
Shalom.
Yeah, I think the 400, the 400 years refers to it doesn't refer to the time in Mitzrayim or in Egypt, because when you add up the years, add up the years they were in Mitzrayim, it amounts to 430. And I know there's been a lot of people talking about the 400 years and the 430 years. They're not the same. They're not the same events.
Yeah. Because like you're right, Ibriym, because I have a lesson. I can either keep the camera on it, like I can pull it up that we did in the past, and I found a link for one of the lessons that actually showed all the years of captivity that had been fulfilled by our people, except for this most recent 400 years that just passed from 1619 to 2019. So that was the only captivity left on the list that hadn't been fulfilled. And in that list, it showed all of our captivities, even the one in Mitzrayim the first time. And it was like 200 and something years, I think. That's what it said. But I can find it shortly after this. Because like, remember when Israel initially moved there because of Joseph, it was like what, 60 to 70 of us. And by the time we leave, there's 600,000 of us. So that has to probably at least 100 years of being there by the time we leave. So
Israel was to take care of the Pharaoh's flock, his animals, because the Egyptians thought that they thought that was an abomination. So Israel weren't in bondage, but they were taking care of Pharaoh's cattle.
Yeah.
And it says when this, during the time of the bondage, and I'm paraphrasing, it says that there came to be a pharaoh, a ruler, who had no knowledge of who Joseph was, and he began to afflict the Israelites. So they weren't under the affliction the whole 430 years.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I said, at the end of this lesson, I'll pull up the lesson real quick and show it on screen, because there's a link that showed all the list of our captivities. And then when it had the first Mitzrayim one, it wasn't, you're right, it wasn't 400 years. It was like maybe 200 or 100 or something, I don't know. But it wasn't 400 years. Let's see. What is required for the stranger to sojourn with Yasharel, with us? Let's go ahead and read it out. Uzi, do you want to get 42 through 51 of Genesis 12?
Okay. Genesis 12. 42 to 51. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh, Exodus. Man, I got okay.
Yeah,
Now, I was listening to you instead of reading the slide. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know. I was looking at the book of Genesis from what you made earlier, but yeah. My bad.
Okay. All right. 42 to 51. Okay. It is a night to be much observed to the to Elohim for bringing them out from the land of Mitzrayim. This is that night of Elohim to be much observed of all the children of Israel throughout their generations. 43. I keep wanting to say Lord. I'm sorry. And Yahuwah said to Moshe and Aaron, "This is the ordinance of the Pesach. There shall no foreigner eat of it, but every man's servant who is bought for money, when you have circumcised him, then he shall eat of it. Uh, a foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat of it. In one house shall it be eaten. You shall not carry forth anything of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall you break a bone of it. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. When a stranger shall live as a foreigner with you and will keep the Pesach of Yahuwah, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one who is born in the land. But no uncircumcised person shall eat of it. One law shall be to him who is born at home, and to the stranger who lives as a foreigner among you. Thus did all the children of Israel, as Yahuwah commanded Moshe and Aaron, so they did. It happened the same day that Yahuwah brought the children of Israel out of the land of Mitzrayim by their host.
There you go. So, for all those that are, terrified of us reclaiming our throne, which is our rightful birthright, there is a way to cleave to us, and it's fairly simple. It requires a little pain if you haven't been circumcised, but a little pain for an eternity of peaceful sojourning, I think is worth it. Thankfully here in the West anyway, most Gentiles are defaultly, whether they realize it or not, circumcised that are men. So that's one step that makes it easier, and the next step is probably the hardest for most of the other nations. Is the humility and the recognition or recognition that if they are descendants of Esau that was to just sojourn with us, is that okay? Yeah, my forefathers did your forefathers dirty, and we profited from it, and apologize, and then ask on how you can keep the laws, statutes, and commandments with us, along with maintaining belief in Mashiach. See, it's not impossible. It's just a process, but it's a process that unfortunately most people don't want to go through, including Yasharal. So, but the Most High will choose who He will, and we will accept those who He has chosen. And we got one more, and then we're done.
Question.
Go right ahead.
Can you explain 46 to me?
Okay, let me see. In one house shall it be eaten. You shall not carry forth aught of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall ye break a bone thereof. Okay, so it's talking about you shall not have an ought with your fellow Israelite or the stranger that is keeping the feast with you, like the sojourner. So if y'all are under the same Torah, which the stranger has agreed to be, that any ought is handled, you bring it amongst yourselves first. You do that multiple times. Then if for whatever reason it can't be handled, you bring it amongst the congregation. The congregation deliberates, and then hopefully by that point, if you did have to bring the congregation, the assembly in on whatever the ought is, that it's resolved, and further steps for reconciliation or aren't needed to be taken. But ideally, when Pesach is to be performed, any ought that you might have with anyone in the assembly, in your assembly, of Yasharel that is hashed out and all is forgiven, and you can move forward, to do as Yahuwah commanded. So that's what that is talking about. And then you shall not break a bone. That's also in a way referring to the Pesach lamb itself. So when you're preparing it, you're gutting it and putting it on the roast, that you don't break any bones while doing so, if you're going to be doing the traditional slaughter of the lamb.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you doing that.
You're welcome. See, what is the name of the first month of the Yasharalim calendar? I think most of us know it. It starts with an A and ends with a something. Who wants to get 1 through 16, and then we're caught up. We have filled in the vacuum that was triple jumped over by the outline that we're following.
Good deal. I'll go ahead and get it.
All right, go right ahead.
Exodus 13, 1 through 16, reading out the KJV, y'all. So I'll just say it for what it says. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever opened the womb among the children of Israel, both man and of beast, it is mine. And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day in which ye come out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of the hand of the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month of Abib, and it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in the month. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be a feast unto the Lord. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall be no leavened bread be seen with thee. Neither shall there be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters. And thou shalt shew thy son in that day, saying, This is done because of that which the Lord did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt. It shall be for a sign unto thee upon thy hand, and a memorial between thine eyes, that the Lord's law may be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand hath the Lord brought thee out of Egypt. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in the season from year to year. Verse 11, and it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, as he sware unto thee and to thy fathers, and shall give it thee, that thou shalt set apart unto the Lord all that openeth the matrix, and every firstling that cometh of the beast which thou hast, the male shall be the Lord. And every firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with the lamb. And if thou wilt not redeem it, then thou shalt break his neck, and all the firstborn of the man among thy children shalt thou redeem. And it shall be when thy son asketh thee in the time to come, saying, What is this? That thou shalt say unto him, By strength of the hand of the Lord brought us out of Egypt, from the house of bondage. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, and the Lord slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrificed to the Lord all that opened the matrix, being males, but all the firstborn of my children I redeem. And it shall be for a token upon thine hand, and for the frontness between thine eyes, for by strength of hand of Yahuwah brought us forth out of Egypt.
Here you go. That is it. Aviv is the first month of the Hebrew New Year, which coincides with the springtime. That is why we do not keep New Year's in the winter, because that is just another homage to, if I remember correctly, the god of Janus, which is, and I guess in some way also ties to Nimrod too, because Nimrod's birthday is in December, which is winter. So, but there you have it. That is this Shabbat's lesson. You know, we covered a lot of ground. We had to fill in a crater that was that was imposed. But you know, this is what this series is for. And we look forward to, you know, next Shabbat's lesson where it'll be a little bit more condensed and, you know, it'll continue on with the legend of Yasharal and us, you know, being knuckleheads in the wilderness, similar to now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and read the closing and then we'll be done. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Elohim and guard his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For Elohim shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. That is from Ecclesiastes 12:13-14 in the Old Testament. And here is the patience of the Kodashim. Here are they that guard the commandments of Yahuwah and the belief of Yahusha. That's Revelation 14:12. You can't have one without the other. It's like having an Oreo without the filling. Just weird.
Oreo without what?
An Oreo without the filling.
I like
cream
that
filling.
analogy.
There you go. Ta-da. And we are done. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, I know I can find it. I got it stored on here. I just got to remember which lesson it's in. That just confirms how many years we were actually in captivity in Egypt the first time. Let's see.
You want to keep the recording going, or did you want to?
I'll stop sharing
show it.
Okay. I'll show it. I'll just stop sharing this part of the screen,
Gotcha.
but then I'll bring it back up.
No, I didn't know. Yeah, my bad.
Let's see.
I did see something here. Israelites' time in Egypt, 215 years. That goes along with what Ema was saying about 200 and something years. I don't know how to use AI for it, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's 2:15. I don't even remember. Well, we just go. I mean, I'm sure you're correct. So I'm not.
It was 2:15 from the beginning, I think, to the time of let me see. I don't want to lie, but it was some to the birth of a certain person. Either was Moses' father, and then from that time to the birth of Moses, I think they took those times in consideration in calculating how many years, and because when Moses was born, that's when all of the affliction of Israel, you know, when Moses was born, that affliction was going on. So remember, because the Pharaoh had told everybody to go kill the male children and leave the females alive. That's part of that affliction. But I don't think it was the whole 215. It was a part of that 215 where the affliction of Israel is included in that 215 years, somewhere in there. So you and Moses was 40 years old when he left out of Israel. And so you can go back at least 40 years, you know, they were in at least 40. And I think they add, if I'm not mistaken, because I think I have the same video you're talking about. And like I said, don't quote me on that. But if I'm not mistaken, I think they came to calculation was 70 years in captivity, because Moses was it's more than that, because Moses was 80 years when he came out of Egypt. Is that what it was? Anybody?
Yeah, he was 80 and because like when they started, talking to Pharaoh, he was like 80 in 3 years.
Yeah, because he was, he was, I think in his 80s, because he was 40 years when he left, and then when we went back, he was 80, if I'm not mistaken. And so when they came out, he was whatever 80 age he was. So they took that in and it backed up to some other event. And that's what they used to calculate the years that Israel was in under bondage to Egypt. So I don't think they were under bondage a whole 215 years. Because what they did was they used, I think, the birth of somebody, and I can't, because it's been a while since I watched it. The birth of somebody, and that cutoff was 215 years. And then they used the latter part of the 250 years, including the age of Moses and stuff, to calculate the number of years that they were in bondage. And I don't think it was the full 215 years. It was a part of that, if I'm not mistaken. And if I find the video, if you found it?
I know it's here. I just can't remember. Oh, you know what? I'll do a search. I should have been doing this. So let's see. If I search the word captivity, it'll probably bring it up because I think.
You just type in how many years was Israel in captivity, or how many years was Israel in Egypt?
Wrong. Is it this one?
That might pull it up too.
Yep. Here's the link. This is the link I'm looking for right here. Click. Oh no, I gotta hit control and click. That's not it. Yep, here's the list. So the Jerusalem, Babylonian captured Jerusalem, Judah, Egypt. Babylonians battle Egypt. Both sides suffer losses. Judah decides to realign itself with Egypt. Jeremiah warns. Well, it's got to be from here to here. So 601, that's like 601 to, that's only 3 years, I think. That's it. Ezekiel, Babylonian, Babylon. The end of the monarchy in Judah. Fall of Babylon, Persia. 70 years. The Jews rebuilt the temple? That's not right. Let's see. I'm looking for the word Egypt. It said Babylon destroyed Jerusalem. Can y'all see it? Do y'all see it? Or no? Do y'all see what I'm looking at?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, here, let me do this. See, stop share. And then share. Right here. Now, do y'all see?
Yes, thank you.
All right. So, Babylon, because Babylon is before Egypt. Captured the Babylon. Second wave, deportation of Babylon to Judah. Ezekiel was taken captive to Babylon. Zedekiah becomes king of Judah. Jews deported to Babylon. The biblical first temple. So the first temple happens after we are out of, right? Or no, the first temple is
Under Babylonian captivity. Was the first kind of
Babylon, beginning of Persia period. Jews to return. Oh, is there more dates? Okay, no, this is verses. I thought, because I know, because like yeah, the only captivity they don't have here is the one of 400 years. Because we did the math that day I did the lesson. I'm trying to remember. So it's Egypt, battles Egypt, both sides suffer losses. So is it this one in this time period between 601 to also then they're not even using the Old Testament as a reference. They're using the New Testament, which is they're not even talking about how Joseph. So I guess maybe it's probably not the best example, but we know that yeah, we were taken captive in Egypt after that initial king that Joseph was cool with, the initial Pharaoh, died. So and how long did you say? 70 years or 215? Something like that.
It looks like it was probably between 80 and 144 years. Does that sound about right? Because you said
Yeah,
we
that
left at
sounds
80
about
80.
right. Somewhere along there, because you
Right.
know, the Israelites were going under persecution when Moses was born. So I think the persecution started before he was born, and then he left out of Egypt. He was 40. He went back into Egypt and he was 80. So at least 80 years, but it was more than that probably, because I can't remember exactly, but it wasn't, they weren't even in bondage the whole 215 years, half of that, they weren't in bondage. It's more like 120 years maybe that Israel was in bondage. And if I can find that video again, which I should have it somewhere in my history. So, because I watched it, and it was very good. It was a very good video, and it's very clear about the 430 years and how that aligns with being in Egypt and not being in here, not being a part of the diaspora here in the United States. So, but I'll have to find it, and I don't think y'all have time to wait for me to find it.
Let's see. I'm using this. Let's see. It may not give us what we want, but we can try. For those who are wondering what I'm using, it's called nofiltergpt.com. So Yasharal, also known as the Israelites, were in bondage in Mitzrayim, Egypt, for approximately now. So it's not accurate either. It doesn't really know. It just knows we were there, but it wasn't necessarily bondage. We were like kind of like the royal sheep herders before it got to the point of being in bondage. But yeah, so it doesn't know either. But it's good for other stuff. So. Well, I don't know. Did you guys even see that, or did you guys still only see this page? I guess probably only this page. But anyway, it was one called what's it called? No filter GPT. But that's it. I'll stop sharing and stop recording. I just want to say thank you once again for viewing the lesson, and shalom, shalom, shalom.